Okay, bro, I'm gonna say something that sounds mean as fuck at first. You're not special. Yeah, I said it. And before you click off thinking, who the hell does she think she is? Hear me out. Because I actually think this is one of the most freeing things somebody can tell you. I'm not saying you're worthless. I'm not saying you can't become successful. I'm not saying you don't have something special about you. I'm saying nobody is coming to magically discover your potential. And I think a lot of us are secretly waiting for that. Like, I know I'm capable of more. Yeah, I know. So fucking do something about it. Because having potential and actually doing something with it are two completely different things. And I've had to learn that the hard way. You ever have that feeling where you are doing literally nothing? You're laying in bed, scrolling TikTok, watching YouTube, whatever. And somewhere in the back of your head, you're like, dude, I'm wasting my fucking life. And then you get this little burst of motivation. You're like, okay, tomorrow I'm getting my shit together. Tomorrow I'm waking up earlier. Tomorrow I'm studying. Tomorrow I'm working out. Tomorrow I'm gonna make that video. Tomorrow I'm finally gonna learn that skill. And for like 20 minutes, you genuinely believe it. You feel unstoppable. And then tomorrow comes and you're tired. And suddenly you're like, uh, okay, maybe Monday. I've literally done this and I used to think I had a motivation problem. I thought I just hadn't found the right video. Like maybe one day I'd wake up and my brain would magically go, congratulations, you're disciplined now. Bro, that day is not fucking coming. And this is something I wish someone had told me earlier. Hard work doesn't feel how you think it's going to feel. It's not this beautiful cinematic moment where you are sitting at your desk with perfect lighting, drinking coffee, listening to some inspirational song, and suddenly you're obsessed with becoming successful. No, sometimes hard work is boring as hell. Sometimes it's sitting there when you'd rather be doing literally anything else. Sometimes it's making something and getting almost no response. Sometimes you're trying to learn something and you're like, what the fuck am I even looking at? And you keep going anyway. That's the part people don't show you. Everybody loves the result. Nobody loves the boring middle. But the boring middle, that's where you actually become good. And if you are young right now, please stop letting the internet convince you that you are late. Because holy shit, social media is brutal for this. You open your phone and somebody your age is buying a house, someone's making six figures, someone has million followers, someone dropped out of college and started a company, someone looks perfect, someone has their own whole life figured out, and you're sitting there like, what the fuck am I doing? I get it. But you are comparing your random Tuesday afternoon to somebody else's biggest moments. You don't know what happened before that post. You don't know how many times they failed. You don't know how much help they had. You don't know what their life actually looks like when the camera is off. So please, stop using somebody else's timeline as proof that you're failing. You're not late. You're just looking sideways too much. But here's where I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. You also can't blame everything on circumstances forever. And I don't mean that in a toxic, just work harder pro way. Life is genuinely unfair sometimes. Some people have more money, some people have better opportunities, some people have supportive families, some people get lucky. That's real. But at some point, you still have to ask yourself, okay, given what I have, what the fuck am I gonna do with it? Because you can't control where you started, you can't control what somebody else has, but you can control what you do next. You can learn something, you can practice, you can make something, you can apply, you can ask, you can fail, you can try again. And honestly, there is something really powerful about realizing that because now you're not sitting around waiting for your life to change, you're participating in it. And please stop waiting until you're confident. This one gets people all the time. I'll start when I'm confident. No, you become confident because you started. Think about anything you're good at. You weren't magically good at it the first time. You probably sucked, and then you sucked a little less, and then you sucked less, and eventually you were like, oh wait, I can actually do this. That's confidence. Confidence isn't sitting around convincing yourself you're amazing, it's having evidence. You did the scary thing. You survived. You tried again. You got better. Now your brain has proof. So if you're waiting to feel ready, stop. You're probably gonna feel awkward. You're probably gonna suck. Do it anyway. And this is the part that fucking sucks. You might actually work hard and nothing happens for a while. You post the video, nobody watches. You study. You still don't understand. You apply for the job, rejected, you try again, rejected again, and then your brain goes, maybe I'm not just meant for this. Maybe, or maybe you've just done it 5 times. That's not enough information. We live in a world where everybody wants instant proof that something's working, but sometimes you don't get the proof for months. And that's where discipline matters. Not when you're excited, not when everything is going well. When nothing is happening, can you still show up? That's a real test. Because literally anybody can work when they're motivated. The question is, can you work when nobody gives a shit yet? And that's why I keep saying you're not special. Because you don't need to be. You don't need to be smartest person. You don't need to be naturally gifted. You don't need to have some magical talent that nobody else has. You just need to become someone who can keep promises to themselves. That's it. And honestly, I think that's way more powerful than talent. Because imagine somebody who's insanely talented but works for 2 weeks and disappears. And then somebody who's completely average but shows up every fucking day. 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, that average person might look unbelievably talented. People will call them gifted, lucky, naturally good, and they'll never see all the boring days that built it. So if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, okay, I know I could be doing more, then don't make some giant fucking promise to yourself tonight. Don't say you're gonna change your entire life tomorrow. Just pick one thing, one, something that actually matters. Open the document, make the video, study the chapter, practice the skill, apply for the thing, go for the walk, whatever it is, and tomorrow do it again. That's literally it. Because you don't become a different person in one night. You become different through hundreds of tiny decisions that nobody sees. And eventually you look back and realize, holy shit, I actually changed. And maybe someday somebody will look at you and say, damn, you're so lucky, and you'll probably laugh. Because they won't know. They won't know about the days you wanted to quit. They won't know about the shitty first attempts. They won't know how many times you doubted yourself. They'll only see what you became. And that's okay. You don't need to them to know. You will. So yeah, maybe you're not special. Maybe somebody else is smarter. Maybe somebody started before you. Maybe somebody has more money. Maybe somebody got luckier. Okay, now what? Are you gonna sit there comparing yourself to them for another year? Or are you gonna fucking work? Because you don't need to be chosen. You don't need a sign. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't even need to believe you're gonna succeed yet. You just need to start and then keep showing up long enough to give yourself a real chance. So stop waiting for the special version of you to show up. Build one boring day at a time, and maybe you'll realize you never needed to be special. You just need to stop fucking waiting.